Last Saturday marked the second anniversary of owning my very first EV. To celebrate, I shared a full breakdown of my total ownership expenses, including servicing, wear and tear parts replacement, charging costs, insurance, and road tax across 3 Facebook groups. The response, pretty overwhelming. Each post got around 200 to 300 reactions, over 100 shares, and close to 400 comments in total. So I thought, why not make a video and share this with a wider audience. From the title, you can probably tell this is gonna be a juicy discussion, and make sure to stick around to the end as I'll be sharing my response to some common EV haters' comment. Let's start with the original post I shared. I've kept a detailed record of every ringgit spent over the last 2 years of ownership. So far, I've clocked 53,512 kilometers, completed 3 service sessions, and replaced 1 set of tires. Not because they were worn out, but because I was offered a deal too good to resist. I also replaced the 12-volt batteries, and of course, there were 2 rounds of insurance renewal. Road tax still free until end of 2025. First service at 5,000 kilometers was free of charge. 20,000 kilometers service cost Rm 151.95. 40,000 kilometers 624.69. Total servicing cost 776.64. Now, you must be asking, why do EVs still need servicing? Well, while EVs don't need engine oil changes, they still required preventive maintenance. Things like air filters replacement, brake fluid changes, and gear reducer oil needs required attention. As I mentioned earlier, I changed my tires and they are now wider with better grips. EV tires at around 48,000 km. The stock tires still had 30 to 40% treads left, but the new ones were too good of a deal to pass up. The new tires is Hankook Ion STAS EVs 18-inch, priced at 353 ringgit per piece. Total is 1,412. I also replaced the 12-volt battery, the same type used in an Asia or Myvi, so it's quite affordable. I changed to Vata silver battery, cost 233.92 ringgit, and add a bracket for 10 ringgit 10 cent. The factory batteries had a different lock mechanics. Total wear and tear replacement is Rm 1,656.02. Now, let's talk about the second most expensive part, charging. When I first got the car, I subscribed to Charge EV for 240 ringgit per year. Most of the chargers near my office and common routes were part of the network. Roughly 80% of my charging was actually free under this plan. Yes, I know what you are thinking, free charging. Well, there weren't many users back then, so I could charge for long hours without any issues or complaint. I actually made a video about that 2 years ago, and here are some screenshots to show the charging was actually free. For DC fast charging, I only use it occasionally during outstation trip, maybe cost around 300 ringgit in total. As for home charging, before I install solar, I spent around 450 to 500 over 3 months after the subscription ended and discontinued. In September, I finally installed solar at home. Wow, install solar so expensive, they got cheap. I actually didn't go outright. I went for 0 to own subscription plan at Rm 220 per month. You can check out the link here to find out more. It generates around 600 to 650 kilowatts, enough for 2 EVs and my small household usage. I did top up a bit, like 30 to 50 ringgit per month. So from there, I allocate around 80 ringgit per month for my EV, which worked out to Rm 640 over the past 8 months. So in total, my charging cost over 2 years is about 1,680 ringgit. Now, for the most expensive item, insurance. 2 years insurance costs Rm 4,886.90. Road tax 0 until end of this year, and starting next year, I have to pay Rm 160 ringgit per year for road tax. So here what I spent over 2 years. Servicing 776.64, wear and tear parts replacement 1656.02, charging 1680, insurance 4886.90, road tax 0. So the grand total is 8999.56. That's breakdown to just Rm 374.98 per month, or about 15.62 per day. So my intentions is to share what's the expenses like if you own an EV. But there are some stubborn EV haters just can't stand hearing anything good about electric vehicle. Let's pick some of the comments to respond. Why the hell should I care about resale value when I still own the car and I have no plan or intentions of selling it? I buy a car to use, not to sell. Just buy a Pro Duo if you want high resale values and stick to that. Should I post about cookeries? Did I post on the wrong group? Is Portan Automotive discussion group? Boy, I literally install a petrol station at home. I plug in every third or fortnight, and by the morning, it's fully juiced up. Following up comment, I don't blame you for not knowing how EV infrastructure works. You probably don't even own one. Ain't this good for consumer? Cheaper car with cheaper maintenance. This fella must be working for Rafizi. He got the info that no one knows. Looks like he will only buy a car once there are no new features or freebies to throw in. Malaysians just love freebies, don't they? Let me guess, he ride a bicycle. I suppose ICE car don't get any upgrades in new models and will somehow sell at the same price they were purchased for. Sometimes I wonder, why should I take EV advice from someone who may not even own one, yet acts like an expert, as if they were some kind of engineers and backs it up with a trust me bro source. And yes, he doesn't own one. One even took up a notch claiming to be an automotive engineer, but ended up replying with ChatGPT responses. Not only that, he even profiled me using my Facebook details while hiding behind a locked profile. Hater really takes things to next level. Well, not all comments are bad. What I noticed is more people are now openly embracing them. There are fewer negative comments and the discussion has become considerably more constructive. Last complaints, I want to take this chance to call out BYDs and Sime Darby for their awful price dumping. Unlike others EV brands that take care of their early customer, offering some kind of compensations when price drop, BYD and Sime Darby has done nothing. Early adopters like us helps build public trust in the brands when it was still new and skeptical by the markets. We took the risk, spend our money early and believe in the products. And I'm still believe in the products. It's just disappointing to see that loyalty is being ignored. If you really want to get one, consider second-hand with low mileage, the crazy price depreciation already boosted by the first owner. That said, I'm not advocating for everyone to switch to EVs because they are not for everyone. It's important to understand and assess whether an EV suit your lifestyle, especially for those who don't have access to home charging. That's all my complaints. You want to complain? Complain lah in the comment box below.